Good afternoon, everyone. So a lot of people have been asking about these trousers. They unzip from trousers down to shorts and are great for travel. So what I'll do is I'll first show you how they work, and then we'll talk about the price, where I bought them, etc. I've decided to leave all my kits on because a lot of the time that's going to be the position you're in. You don't want to be taking everything off. It's supposed to be about convenience. So let's see how quickly I can do this. At the end, I will also talk about these shoes. I picked these up as well. Just been to Jamaica and I wanted some new trousers. I actually bought a second pair of these. These are going to be my UK ones. And these shoes are Merrell. I bought them at Decathlon as well. We'll talk about those soon. Okay, and then zips just off here. Now getting off will obviously always be a little bit easier. There we go. We've already got our first snag. There we go. Catching there, see? I want this to be in real time so you can see if there's any funny business. Okay, that's one down. La-di-da-di-da. So what have you been doing tonight? Well, I tried to kill time by putting this over the top. Oh, well, that was quick. That one was a lot quicker. Okay, let's line them up so I know which one goes where. It's not that hard, you figure it out. Over time, you get used to the little muscle memory and where your thumb and your two other fingers need to be to get the zip on the most productively. Okay. I don't have to worry about leaning over because I've got my little strap now for my camera. I used to lean over and my camera would fall out of my harness. Right. I'm basically going to put the shoes on for the thumbnail. So the thumbnail will be, as you've seen because you've clicked on it, me with the bottoms off and with them on, side by side. I do love these shoes. Okay, so let's just put that lip down. So it looks a bit neater. Camera there, safety. There we go. Ta-da! For the thumbnail. So, yeah, what you'll notice under the lip is it's a lot darker where they haven't faded from washing. We'll get to all that in a second. So now you've seen the dinner. Let's get them back on. And let's see how slick I can do this after I've done it maybe 40, 50 times. With all my camera and kit on. Right, that was the right one. Let's go left first. Okay, so what I usually do, it's hard to explain and look at and show you at the same time. Just make sure the zip is actually right back in the groove. Hold it there as you put the leg through. And then find the corresponding piece. Need to twist it around a little. And okay, I'll try to explain as I do it. Yeah, you keep your thumb on the back with the zip right in until you get the slots right at the back as well. So it's all lined up, and then I'll use my index finger and thumb to pull back on the top and the shorts bit, which is holding everything together. Oh, that was quick. See, yeah, it works. If you get everything completely lined up, it takes a few attempts and then you get it done. I mean, in the beginning, in the early days, I was mucking around on planes, on coaches, and sweating and getting up angry with myself, trying to get it right. And now it's just quick muscle memory. So thumb on the back piece, zip all the way in, use the little handle to pull it back to make sure it has to be completely lined up or else it snags. It's the pressure of being on camera. Yep, the thumb, I'm pushing the thumb at the back, but there you go, it's gone straight away. When I first got it, I thought it was me very, very fiddly, but there you go. So that quick. And what do I use it for? If I want to travel very light, lightly, for instance, I'm going to Jamaica and it's cold in this country or any warm country and it's cold here, you're going to want to wear trousers. Even when it's warm, the plane can get very cold sometimes. So I take trousers that if it gets a bit cold, I can put the bottom bits back on and get off and it's 30 degrees, 40 degrees. I can just take the bottoms off and breathe a little, and just being able to take off the bottom of your trousers, it feels like you've cooled the room down by 10 degrees Celsius, that is. For you American folk, Celsius. There we go, that quick. So while I was in Decathlon, I filmed the shelves to show you all the different trousers that they have. They are $39.99. The brand is Forclaz. Adjust trousers 500, 8 pockets, including 5 secure. And there's a little zip pocket on the side here, which is where my passport goes. The other ones, these are buttoned, but the zip one, yeah, passport and anything important, any kind of cards, information, hard drive, well, my little USB drives, goes in there if I definitely don't want it to go missing. That's about what I paid 2 to 3 years ago. I've had them for about 2 or 3 years, and I was worried when I first got them, how would they fare? But they've been to dozens of countries, constantly going over 25, 30 degrees. And apart from being faded, they've held up extremely well. And while I was just waiting for a plane to go over, being joined by a friend, little horse came over to say hello. Now, yeah, I needn't have worried. They've held up for 2 to 3 years. And what happened was when I first got them and I was using them, I would get to where I was going and use them as shorts. That meant taking the bottom off. And obviously that was going to lead to fading of the top more than the bottom. So I tried to catch them up by throwing in the bottoms to a wash every now and again I think the bottom is still slightly darker. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these for the UK. I bought a fresh pair and I'm only going to use them to travel to and from the country. So I look smart, semi-smart. What I do is when I get to where I'm going, I have another pair of shorts that I use to go out and do my bird watching because I get very sweaty, very dirty. And if I keep doing that, they'll keep fading. So I want to keep those for best. These are going to be used in this country. The little one, I've got a tear here that I have sewn up a bit badly, but they're just for out and about, walking past brambles and getting torn to shreds, and I don't really worry about it. And if I need to take the bottoms off, they work as well as they did 2 to 3 years ago, so they are an excellent buy. Don't worry about that. Across to the right, they have the shorts version. They don't have any zips in them, so they're just shorts. If you like the design, that is, and you don't want the bottoms, you can just buy the shorts. And there's some odds and ends. It's really worth the trip to the Decathlon. I bought a couple of pairs of these boots from, you might have seen them in my videos, Sports Directs. And I know Sports Direct, what did you expect? Well, I bought the expensive ones. They were £95 at the time, and I thought they would last. After a couple of months, the sole started to come away from the main bit of the shoe. And I thought, I'm not having that. £95, that should last. I took it back. Happily gave me my money. I gave them a second chance. So I thought maybe I just got a bad pair. Same thing happened to those. I wore them on a couple of holidays. 2 bits of the sole were coming away. Even the staff were like, yeah, that's too early. It shouldn't be happening. Money back. So I've got to think of something else. I've got to go for another brand. First thing I did was I looked in the section where all the boots were, and I looked at the brands that I wanted to buy. And then I took my thumb and went inside and pressed down. Because if the bottom, the inner sole is hard, when you go walking long distances for miles, your legs and your feet are going to get very sore. So when they went into these ones, these Merrells, Merrell Crosslander to be exact, I already knew the brand and they had a good reputation. When I put my thumb in, they felt like trainers. I went, they're the ones. So I tried them on. Now, my shoe size varies between 10 and 11. So I went for 11. And even though they fit and they felt like they were quite tight at the front, but a little bit of wiggle room, I knew this was going to give me trouble. So I thought, let's get the 12, and the 12 were perfect. So they're quite snug for normal shoe size. You don't go for the one that you think fits your feet because that's the size of your feet. You're going to have to walk in these. I would suggest give yourself a little bit of wiggle room. If there's too much wiggle room, that's going to be a problem, okay? So you're going to have to play with a couple of sizes to get it right. In the end, I opted for the 12, which is the biggest shoes I've ever bought. Obviously, long term, I don't know how they're going to hold up, because I'm going to try and keep them for best. I'm only wearing them to Cross Nest today to do this review. I would normally wear my more beaten up boots. I've got the boots from Sports Direct from a few years ago, which have been caught in the sea, the sole's falling away, and I'm going to use it for dry days like this. Other than that, it's going to be my really good Wellington boots where I can stand in a foot of water and they just do not leak. I think I paid 70 or 80 pounds. I was in the habit of, buying 10 or 15 pound Wellington boots. And I went, okay, enough. I need to buy some really good ones. And these ones are almost trainer-like. You've got a nice soft bottom, so good for walking long distance. So yeah, I don't know what they're going to be like long-term because I'm going to try and keep them as nice as possible. Obviously, I do want to wear them a bit because I'll need to find out quickly if they're not very well made. So I'm within the refund time, okay? The warranty time. But the other brand I looked at was Solomon. These are Solomon Quest 4 GTX, much more, $144.99, but they looked every penny of that. However, the inner sole was too firm for my liking. And it's got that lip by the tongue, which means it's really well waterproofed. These don't have that, or the lip doesn't go up as far the join. So you're not really going to want to go jumping into any puddles with these. You're going to want to keep them for nice. But those Solomons, they were maybe a bit too big. They would have looked like sort of moon boots on me, but they looked like a serious piece of work. If they were softer inside, I would have gone for them 150 because they just looked the works. And I would have looked, yeah, it would have been very impressive look, very fashionable, very now, big boots. Everyone's wearing big boots now, aren't they? Right, that's about as much as I can say. Boots and trousers. I hope I've given you something to consider. Obviously I get to test out stuff. I can tell you what's good and bad, what I use. And 5 years of birding, obviously I start to learn all the equipment and accessories I need, and what I keep and what I constantly use obviously works. So get down to Decathlon and get some of these. These are amazing. I should actually get another color, really. They have some darker ones as well. But anyway, I'll speak to you next time. I hope you liked. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a like, and any comments, anything I've missed out, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can.